Pamela Hartigan, you're here in Singapore for the Global Social Innovators Forum. You've just been taking part in a session with Jet Li about social innovation. But what for you is the critical part of it? You were saying that it's all about people giving their time rather than giving money, is it?
Well, not exactly. It's that money is actually fairly easy to give, writing a check, etc. But that the hardest thing is really giving your time and giving more of yourself. That is, I think, one of the issues. I think that is one of the reasons why we see a change in actual philanthropy, because as young people have come into massive wealth, they do want to become more engaged. They don't want to just write the check. They want to take this as part of their learning and growing experience, and so that's what I was referring to.
How can people get involved though?
I think that there are many enterprises all around the world that very much need the kind of talent and experience that business people have and that others have in their careers to actually go and roll up their sleeves and get going and work alongside to learn what it is like to really run an enterprise that has a social purpose.
But we are in a difficult time. We're in an economic downturn. Presumably people won't be giving of their time so much or their money.
Well, actually, the paradox is that what we're finding is that many companies are all that more interested for a couple of reasons. As they downsize, what they're having to do is to sort of think, well, we don't want to really let these people go because they're good, but we can't utilize them right now. What kind of options can we give them that will continue to foster their leadership development and their talent and give them a different experience, plus collect some market intelligence? And so we're actually finding that this is a very good time for people to actually take advantage and do something that they perhaps would never do.
So what sort of things would you like to see people getting involved with?
Well, if they're from the business community, I think business community has all kinds of talents, such as marketing skills, auditing skills, strategic planning skills, communications, IT, monitoring and evaluation, just helping organizations think through how do they better collect information so that they can actually go out and show what it is that they're doing. So there are a whole lot of different areas that people can get involved with. Human resource management, all the usual typical things that companies are part of their mainstream business.
So you would say that charities still could be doing quite well even though we're in a downturn?
I don't think they're going to be doing well. I think they're going to have to think more entrepreneurially. And some, I hope, and I know this is going to be, controversial, I hope some will shut down because there are an awful lot of charities out there that really should not be open. We don't have a rating system in the social world. And so there are an awful lot of organizations out there that are simply not doing what they should be doing, or let's put it this way, not doing it well and spending an awful lot of money while they do it. So I'm hoping we will see more mergers in the social world, which, instead of everybody doing the same thing, combining efforts, it's the only way it's going to move forward.
But when you say that these organizations should close down, there is no regulator as such. So it would be a question of people not giving them money.
That's exactly right. I do think we're going to see a downturn in terms of the money giving, in terms of the money. And what I'm saying is that charities, if you call them that, or enterprises, social ventures, are going to have to be much more creative in the way they go about pursuing their objectives. And part of that is really learning how do we bring the kinds of human talent to help us keep going and building our efforts when, in fact, charitable dollars go down.
But if people are just giving money to charities and not getting involved with the organizations, how can they tell whether an organization is good or bad?
They don't. That is the problem. And that is why many organizations out there are sort of acting as intermediaries. You have Ashoka, for example, that's been around for 25 years that basically selects budding social enterprises. You have Avina, you have the Acumen Fund and Skoll Foundation, etc., that are doing the due diligence that's necessary. But there are too few of them. And this is one of the problems. Number one, how do you get recognized by one of those organizations so that you do join this club of rubber-stamped organizations that are well run? And number two, how do we create more of those kinds of intermediaries, which have obviously been around in the business world for a long time? Not doing a very good job from what we can see, but at least they're there.
Some interesting ideas. Thanks a lot,
Exactly.
Pamela Hartigan.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Great.